Egyptians are furious about the opening of the U.S. Embassy in Jerusalem. In December, U.S. President Donald Trump broke with a decades-long policy by recognizing Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. His decision has upset the Arab world, which maintains that the U.S. can no longer be regarded as an unbiased broker in any Middle East peace talks.
As an Egyptian and an Arab citizen, I feel humiliated. Israel has been fighting us since 1948. As Arabs, 22 Arab nations, 350 million Arabs are defeated. We are defeated. When they celebrated 70 years since the creation of Israel, over Egypt's Nile and near the Arab League, this was their declaration of a final victory.
I am very angry as a Muslim, and I believe every Arab, not only Muslims, any person who associates with Arab nationalism would be very angry. There are no Arabs who would accept this idea. Whatever religion they belong to, we all feel the same way. We feel angry, extremely angry. This decision is not for them to make.
Well, let's rope in CGTN's Yael Lavi now. She's in Jerusalem. Yael, despite the widespread anger across the Arab world, though, the U.S. Embassy in Israel has now been moved to Jerusalem. How has this development been received in Israel?
Well, in Israel, clearly the reception of that move is entirely different. It has been quite a surreal day, one can say, looking at the reception in Israel of that embassy move, pomp and circumstance, local Israeli channels celebrating that embassy move as a vindication, so to speak, or a victory for the country as the border down south next to Gaza is flaring up. It is important to know that as of now, the sources, Palestinian sources, are saying that approximately 53 people have been killed in those clashes, already dubbed the embassy clashes, so to speak, on Israel's southern border with the Gaza Strip. But Israel itself, important to note, or Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who really is celebrating today, has received a present. The embassy move was something that Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu had expected every American president prior to Donald J. Trump to actually carry out. And it is President Trump that did not only say that he will move that embassy during his campaign in 2016, but as we saw today, he did it today. Not only that, Israel is celebrating because the date that was chosen for that fateful move, so to speak, at the 14th of May, is also the anniversary of the Declaration of Independence of Israel 70 years ago in 1948. That said, the Palestinians tomorrow will be marking that same event with what they refer to as the Nakba. That's loosely translated from Arabic as catastrophe, which is how the Palestinians view 70 years ago that Declaration of Independence. So when Israel was celebrating that ceremony, in which many American delegates, and we saw Ivanka Trump, the daughter of the president, also an advisor to him, Jared Kushner, her husband, an advisor to the president, very instrumental also in making this move happen, we're very much in a mode of national celebration. But as we mentioned, the pictures coming out of the southern border, the information of severe clashes, very severe, more so than we saw in the last 3 years, including the Israeli Air Force bombing the north of the Gaza Strip to try and stop people from approaching and protesting at the fence, showed a very surreal, or maybe the most, eloquent representation of what Israel / the Palestinians are facing now post that move of the American embassy to Jerusalem.
Well, Alan, we've been seeing that flare up on the Gaza border there throughout the day, and those images coming out of the Gaza violence. But what kind of security operation was mounted during the ceremony itself? And are there fears that the U.S. facility could be targeted going forward?
Well, throughout the ceremony itself, it was interesting to see that all the delegates, but specifically Prime Minister Netanyahu, U.S. Ambassador David Friedman, were all on stage discussing the importance of peace in Jerusalem, being a city that actually is for all three religions and that is still the capital of Israel. That said, there were no imams, there were no religious Arab figures in that ceremony, clearly. There was a priest that spoke on stage, there was the Israeli Prime Minister, the Israeli President. But moving forward, and that's an important thing to note, the Palestinians already said when President Trump announced that he was going to move the embassy and that he's recognizing Jerusalem as the capital of Israel, Mahmoud Abbas, the Palestinian president, already back in December, stated that as far as the Palestinians are concerned, America, the United States, is no longer a third-party broker in any type of negotiations between the Israelis and the Palestinians, which begs the question, what now? How does one move forward? Even if, as the Israelis are speaking of the possibility of peace, or as Prime Minister Netanyahu said, the embassy moved so peace will be based on truth, who will negotiate between the two sides? Because right now the Palestinians are refusing to see the Americas as any type of a broker or negotiator in any future peace process, if that is even still viable.
All right, Yael Lavi, very potent questions there. Yael Lavi joining us there from Jerusalem on that update.